Welcome back to Threshold of Revelation, session 13, entitled Shredded Futures. Last session, the group went into the basement of an old conglomerate space and found a very strange entity that was bound to a strangely blue soul well. After defeating the creature, it left a fragment of cold iron with strange draconic markings on it. When they utilized the soul well therein, they identified that this specific item is known as a shred of a existence before them. In this game, shreds, when they utilize a soul well, they can use the shred to replace their current class with a separate and totally individual class that is based on what the shred has within it. The shred that they have is a great old one, Warlock. Um, they've rested at the soul well. So if you have any fetish switches that you want to do or anything like that, so much the better. The main point I want to kind of adjust to is whatever you do throughout the watches, the point we're really starting at will be the next morning, and we're going to discuss what you're going to do next.
And attunements will kick in now. So Zach with the wand of secret doors.
Correct.
Thank you.
And whatever other switches we made at the end of the secret room we were in before.
That ever-burning torch adjacent, we put it in quotes when I added it to my character sheet. Is there anything more to it that I need to know? There's no attunement to it, for example?
There's no attunement to it at all, no.
It functions as an ever-burning torch, but it's a different thing. It's like a glowing rock on a stick.
I will say this, and it's more than I should have to say, but I'm going to elucidate because I did do it last session a bit. It is an ever-burning torch for all intents and purposes, but there are latent properties to the item that would require the spell identify.
Okay. I think we're fresh out of scrolls for that,
Correct.
so cool beats.
When do we unlock equipping a second fetish?
That'll be at level like 6 or 7.
So
whenever our proficiency bonus goes up to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
It's half your proficiency bonus rounded down.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anything else on loadouts and sleep stuff?
I don't think so.
Okay. Then, yeah, the day is yours to do with as you please. Again, you are inside of the secret lair, inside of its basement. Just up the stairs a ways is the rooms where you found the beddings where the darklings are. And there's also the elevator with the 2 power sources. The elevator would allow you to exit into the area, which is currently occupied by the shark creature, which we now know as a cloaker. And again, whether or not you want to just lead it be or engage with it in a more dramatic and physical fashion is up to you. So far, it's proven itself to be fine. It's not a dick about anything, I don't think. Is it? I mean, he seems cool, right?
I mean, he's not the nicest, but we're also it's not that dangerous, so we can just leave it. It's fine.
I don't think we need to worry about any kids wandering into this cave and going that deep and finding his pond. So
the museum guy told us it should be fine.
I'll leave him alone.
All right.
Just don't touch the water. We might put up a sign or something.
Was there another set of locked doors, or did we get them all?
Got them all. Everything's been
okay.
The dungeon is
one left.
Yeah, the dungeon's clear. The other locked doors would have led you back to the Darkling room.
All right, back to the mission.
Okay, so you're starting with a full day of space here, and as we've discussed, it's going to be a total of, I believe we said 5 hexes of movement, because in mountainous. So, close enough to mountainous for it to count. It's entirely up to you what you'd like to do, and checking your notes and seeing what the plan is.
I know they said if we got to where the flying goblin city is, that if we mentioned to the leader, I don't remember the exact phrase, but it was a phrase from Decalus, and he said that if we did, then we could, or Decalus, sorry, I haven't mentioned his name. he said that if we got there, she would be most likely willing to help us.
Fun fact about
But-
the name Dekelis, it's Dekelis, Dekelis, Dekelos. All these are fine.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he does not. He's not a.
That is a fun fact.
He is not a stickler for pronunciation. If he does get bored about it, he might elucidate as to what the different pronunciations mean, as the word and name is a Meridian name, and in its more root form, Dekelis, it means mistake.
There's also they said there's possibly like a bridge we could cross. The dwarves did if we couldn't catch the
Yeah.
flying goblin city.
The dwarf was posted on your map. It should have a marker there. And then the Goblin City is that.
Well, we're headed west no matter what, yeah?
Yeah.
Do we have a particular end goal as far as like we want to go to Bridger? But so far it seems west and then north is our best bet. Or is our option.
Yes.
So did we want to take Goblin Flying City or
I say
Whatever
Goblin Flying City.
Goblin Flying City does sound
They
fun to
told
me.
us the second port or whatever for the Goblin City. Where was it?
So they told you that it ports all over the place. The main place here is there. They didn't tell
I thought
you.
they said there was like a second specific place that it typically goes.
I thought it
to.
was up in the plains. Up
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's right. So it was. I understand the question now. Yeah, it's up near this place up here, which I gave.
Oh,
you
way up there.
Yeah, I gave you the
Yeah,
name.
like well past where we're actually trying to go.
Anvil
So I thought.
Rock? Anvil
Um,
something?
yeah, Anvilvote, I believe, is the name. God, making me check my notes. Locations.
Named it.
Anvilvote. Yep, I did name it. Anvilvote is the name of the mountain that the city of Flat Flap goes to.
Well, I don't know if we could talk him into dropping us off elsewhere, but getting to Anvil Vote seems like just as much, if not a greater distance from Bridger than where we
Yeah.
are.
If we get to Flap Flap, it saves us a half a day's travel to fly all the way to Anvil and come back. So it's not super beneficial.
Yeah, but if we get too flap, there's no telling what we might like. They might have like some trades that we can do that might help us be better prepared for Bridger.
Sure, I'm not opposed to going to it. I'm just saying it's not going to be super beneficial if we're trying to speed to the end of this mission.
Yeah, if
True.
if temporal allotments are what you're focusing on, Flat Flap is not a boon. It's just a.
Or we could take over the city and have a flying city.
I don't
They're
think we're
friends
supposed
of
to say
the
that out loud.
conglomerate.
I don't think we're capable of that.
We can
I
go
flex
haunt the
at
fuck
him.
out of it.
Yeah. You want ghosts? We got ghosts.
We are Ghost.
Made of ghosts.
Happy Halloween, bitches.
What was our other option that we understood? I know the dwarves
There's the-
mentioned something about the prior party and how they traveled.
So they traveled across the bridge and then made their way to the underground, which is, again, not the same mission, it doesn't sound like.
And they died, right?
No. So there's one party that was killed by their associate. That was an ancient party that was the worm-infested variations of dancers. The dancers that were at Whitehammer were dancers similar to you. They have a lodestar. They incorporate with soul wells. They reform their effigies. And they're more recent. They were the party that came right before you. But has been kind of just... Yeah. They're not Dekelis' group. They're something else.
So it seems our most stable lead is via Flap Flap.
Yeah, Flap Flap's a pretty solid way to get closer to Bridger. It's probably the best way to kind of get behind the enemy line, so to speak. If it does end up being a wash, there's the bridge you can cross, head north, and try and make your way to either the Makoshki Plains or directly to Bridger through the ridge lines, which are these kind of extractions here.
And Bridger it is one objective. The other objective was to infiltrate Aeonis. So like if we get there and like
Aeonis is
Bridger-
closer.
yeah, Aeonis is closer to it.
Yeah, if you go the
west side we come down.
if you go the flap route, then yeah, you definitely could just march on that way to Aeonis and just shut it down or take it over.
Anybody against Flap?
Nope.
Nope.
Let's travel west.
Because we had to anyway.
All right, so this is going to seem a little bit different.
I'm in charge.
I do.
I make decisions that are ultimately pointless.
I do want you to kind of draw your line. You're not going to Boar Hill. You're going around it like last time. Is that accurate?
I don't think we have any business there.
And I will put a node token. Sorry, hold on.
Does everybody else agree with that?
Hell yeah. If you drew
Sure.
it, I agree with it.
Can you make
That,
it?
not that
Okay.
one.
Can you wash the all of it? Can you get all of that off?
The
of there?
filth.
Can you clean my map, please?
Sorry.
There's a dot, Andy. You missed a dot.
Fuck.
Tell me about it.
Watch your mouth.
Fuck, sorry. Sorry, kids.
Your students just walk up to the whiteboard or whatever, just doodle whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay with. I can't do it. So, whoop. You don't want that.
Hold on here.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, so that's a perfectly good plan. It will put you close to Whitehammer at your terminus, so you're basically just backtracking the same way you came, and that works for me. I do need
Getting real familiar with this road.
Yeah. I do need something a little different here. So I will require D20 rolls. However,
And we are aware of the druids and all their bullshit.
yeah, you're very aware of this area, so the travel through this territory is a little different. It's a backtrack. So how I'm dealing with that is I need one person to roll 2d20, and then I need someone else to do the same a total of 5 times. But before
Steve.
anybody rolls these d20s, I need one person to roll a d100.
I'd do the D100.
Brett and Steve, you guys take care of the 20.
40. Got a
Okay.
40.
All right. And then, so pick a person, roll 2d20.
Steve.
Cool. Next person, same. Next person, same. All the way down the line.
Oh, okay, everybody.
Yeah, everyone but Andy.
Look at that grouping.
3, 4. Chody.
Chode!
Cool. Okay, great. So
Okay.
you're very familiar with this territory, Uther. In fact, it's like locked into memory. You could do this blindfolded. You pass by the parts where the rocks and the caverns are located, where
We
Hunter's
did do
Manor,
half of it blindfolded just for fun.
where the Hunter's Manor is located. You see the lava vents. You see the base of Ancrag. You see the path that heads down to Whitehammer. There's a suitable campsite up above Whitehammer a ways away. But you could also go back down to Whitehammer and camp there as well if you so choose. Entirely up to you what you want to do rest-wise. But ultimately you will be in that hex, the Whitehammer hex at the end of it. However, once you make it to that point where the divide is, it's late, but it's kind of still like just before you kind of enter fully into that space. It's evening time. It's starting to kind of sundown, and this is due in part to the percentile die. You see off in the distance, well off in the distance, what appears to be kind of like a black line across the sky. And looking at it more closely, it seems that you can see it as such.
God damn it.
A floating island
That's nothing to worry about.
That is awesome.
that appears to be maneuvering due to strange airships that are kind of
It's got-
pulling it with lines.
Maneuvering in what
what is-
direction?
is that- Is that fire beneath it?
It appears that it has a moat of elemental energy kind of in its center.
It's one of those AI art pieces.
No, this is actually a piece done by.
Oh, I just now saw the Zeppelins. That's neat.
It's a conglomerate known as Burrowbound. They are a Patreon group. They do maps of like full cities for you to kind of like use. And when I say maps of full cities, I don't mean like, oh, this is a map and it's showing like maps. It's a 5 foot by 5 foot gridded map of a city. I'm using one of them for our Tuesday game. This one is called
That's
Gruk
exhausting.
Jit. But I didn't want to use the exact lore from what they were, because they also do write-ups for them. So I named it Flap Flap, and it's a goblin city. That we share in common, though. Gruk Jit is a goblin city.
Use the code Dugan for 15% off your next purchase.
You
There.
get no benefits. I am not sponsored by anyone. I
I
wish.
gotta
Sounded
get you
awful hard.
sponsors.
I wish. No, you asked. I was just letting you know. Like,
What's it? Raid Shadow Legends. That's got to be low-hanging fruit, right?
yeah, I got 4 viewers who will never use your project.
Fucking anybody will hawk that shit. I meant no offense when I said
Oh,
it
yeah,
was-
absolutely.
I asked if it was an AI thing because it looks
No,
like
I
the
get
way
it.
the lines are kind of blended.
Yeah,
What
it's very
direction is
cool
this thing
art.
moving?
it does appear to be heading northwest, so it does seem like its next stop will probably be Anvilvolt.
So we already missed it.
It seems like it's just now leaving. Yeah, based on its positioning, it'll probably be on its way by the time you kind of set down for rest. If you were to push on, it would still be well outside of your capabilities.
Yeah.
Blinders,
Well, all right,
gentlemen.
guys.
That's none of our business.
Yeah, so I will kind of show you the mechanics. Kind of move the veil back
That
beside.
wasn't Flap Flap. That was.
So Flap Flap.
Was it Flap Flap?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch! I thought Flap Flap was an animal.
That's our ride.
I was under the impression Flap Flap was an actual like giant animal they were riding.
No. It is not, unless elementals are animals in your mind. Yeah, it is very much just
Similar.
a big ass island that
It
floats
was
around.
described as a floating island to us.
No. But yeah.
Where the hell have I been?
I don't know, man. We're huffing it though.
Okay.
Get some sleep.
I could have sworn it was like a giant rock or something.
It is.
Maybe I misinterpreted rock.
Fair enough. Oh, you meant Rock ROC. Ah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think when you said it, I think you did say rock, and I was like, "Oh, cool!
Rolling
That's
Ro-
incredible."
Rolling Rock is not a Flappy Bird, and Flap Flap is not a bird either. I thought the joke was good. You guys shut up.
I'm embarrassed. I'm not pity laughing right now.
So anyway, there goes our ride.
Shit.
Yeah. So you can again, you can go down to Whitehammer and rest there, rest at the place you rested before, or you can continue just like up on top and rest up above.
Yeah,
we might as well go. Well, we might as well talk to the guy, see if he has any other leads on traveling.
Okay. So
Whitehammer are the dwarves we spoke to, right?
yeah, Whitehammer was the dwarves that you stayed with and hung out with. Yeah.
I was about to question my whole reality. How do I not know anything?
That's a different life. So when you start making your way down the pathway to Whitehammer, you do notice that there's quite a bit of a difference in the day and a half, 2 days you've traveled away. It does look like there's a decent amount of foot traffic on the path, foot traffic that's relatively recent. It seems that a lot of it's coming away from Whitehammer, kind of moving up the path. When you arrive at the bend where you can see Whitehammer, the mouth of it, the entrance into the temple space, has a large blackened burn char on the chalk facing of the cliff. And you can see that the once ornate grave site off to the side where the soul well is located, the Ashbraid Memorial, it appears to have been broken apart and burned quite heavily.
Just recently?
You would
It
assume
was intact when we left a day and a half ago.
Yeah. If you go and inspect it further, it does look like someone took like the most largest flamethrower that you could imagine and like put it just near the entrance and pulled the trigger and just inside. The whole place is charred. There are very few remnants of what was living here, but you do see the kind of just lumps of charcoal that were dwarves kind of present there.
Oh no, Paka.
Who could have done this?
You can't really make out anybody. It does look like everyone who is in here is kind of hard to identify, but based on the foot traffic, you assume people got out.
Man.
I mean, probably those dragon worshipping deep dwarves. You know, they got cross bolted and they didn't like it, so they came back with a dragon or something.
It could be that dragon we saw.
True. That dragon, I'm pretty sure, just kind of hates dwarves now.
Because those deep dwarves, like they worshipped a dragon or something. I don't know if it was like that dragon specifically.
You're
Can
pretty
we kind of walk the premises, get an idea of what happened?
Yeah, so it very much looks like there was a dragon of a decent size, probably a size that you would be familiar with as far as dragonkind goes, that breathed fire into the entrance several times. And then you, based on the kind of footprints in the charcoal and the scoring, it looks like people at some point after that, probably not too long after that, escaped here.
Yikes.
At least someone made it out.
Yeah, maybe we'll catch up with them on our way to the bridge.
They might have already got the flap and left on that.
Yeah, that'd be smart.
Could also have been the reason why they
No,
left.
fleeing a dragon on a flying island seems like easy pickings.
I mean, they have the technology to make a flying island. I'm sure they can deal with a dragon.
Eh,
And the technology to live inside a mountain. It's fireproof.
Yeah.
I'd retreat further underground.
He's
Okay,
got a point.
Got
Well, this is a
cannons,
bummer.
net.
Yeah, it's Flap's defense system is just one big net.
Yeah, it's one net made out of rocks.
Oh,
And
goblins
iron,
are
and it
fucking
just-
geniuses.
They just shoot the net onto the dragon. It claps or takes the
It
dragon's
claps.
wings and just chips them, and then just drops the dragon into the ocean to never be seen again.
I think the goblins would very much use a Kirby technique. They try and maneuver it above the dragon and then just drop all energy and get them that way.
How
but then they
fast
have
was
to
that
drop those
island moving?
Nephilim. I mean, gravity.
How are you gonna outmaneuver a dragon?
They know some maneuvers.
How many knots was that island going?
You just like you're on the island and you're like shopping
What's
in
the
a shop
movement speed
somewhere.
of that island?
the goblin captain is Anakin, like from Phantom Menace. Let's try spinning. That's a cool
Hey,
trick.
that's a good trick.
They all fly off.
All of them. They're all
You're just
gone.
sitting in the shop. Next thing you know, you're like a little siren. It's like, oh,
I'm just
Captain's
saying it
doing the
doesn't add
maneuver.
up.
Everybody,
I
hold
could
on.
be wrong, and that's fine. But in my heart, I feel like something's wrong.
Now, this is pod
I'm with
racing.
you.
Our only option is gone. Nyx,
Yes.
what are your thoughts?
What am I? What?
What are your thoughts?
Does
Your
anybody have
opinion.
a really, really big thumb?
It's currently late.
You,
I
sir?
think we should just get some rest.
I mean, hitchhike. I don't think that does thaumaturgy make your thumb extra big?
No, it just makes your voice extra big. Yeah, we don't want to camp in here, do we? We should probably camp up top out of respect. Is that cool with everybody?
Yeah, maybe Rolling Rock, you want to say some words and
Yeah, you got. They seem to like you.
Like some words about the dead. Or-
Yeah, just
It's like,
give him a little
like some last
prayer.
rites kind of
Seems
thing.
like a cleric thing to do.
Yeah, you know, channel the power of the memory of Ashbraid. You know, I'm wearing his flim flam, so you know, spread some dirt and pour one out for the homies.
Gently
God,
strumming my lute in
fine
the
when you do
background.
it.
So respects are paid to the bodies
Just pouring
there
one out and chucking one into a pot.
into Whitehammer, and similarly, there are portions on the interior that are still kind of burning, not too dissimilar from the chain. So that also kind of accentuates that it was probably that same dragon. Parts of the walls still kind of glow with the embers and heat of the dragon fire.
So it's warm.
Yeah, it's warm inside, for sure.
Nice.
But it does seem like the group was just paying respects and then moving back up the path and then finding a place up top of the cliff to camp. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So go ahead and make a survival roll for me, user. I assume Silas is helping, so you'll have advantage. And
18.
cool. You would find a decent enough camping site, which is also at a decently warm point. It's a ways away, wind-wise, from the lava tubes, so you're not kind of getting the sulfury and kind of like acrid smell of hot charred or charred stone, but it's kind of close enough to them to kind of still have that subtle warmth of the mountains, the heart of the mountains. During your sleep cycle, go ahead and give me 3 d20 rolls for random encounter chances here. And depending on how those go, we'll see
I'll do what?
what happens next. Ooh.
Oh, hi.
All right, Jeremy, give me a D100 roll.
34.
All right. So okay. So during the and you have your watch schedules. I forget who's on second watch though.
Do we have a standard watch?
I thought we did. Did
we
we?
only established it once, and I don't remember who
I thought
it
we've
was
done
either.
it 3 times because you've done it at Cliffside. You did it at Town Hill, and then you also did it at near the Hunter's Manor.
They're having characters that sleep.
I just can't
I'll
remember.
just-
what it
yeah,
is.
right. I'll say I'm second.
Okay.
That's fine.
So during second watch, the lights that I had mentioned previously when you were over at the Hunter's Manor, or close to there, the lights that kind of ran across the roadside shrine, you see them again, and they're kind of heading off in the southwesterly direction. They're heading towards it. And it does seem to be the case that they are kind of moving to where Ancrag is kind of located above you, as you're kind of sitting in its shadow.
This is the Druid lights.
Yeah, the strange druid lights. During the course of your watch, they disappear, as if they're kind of consumed by Ancrag. And maybe an hour or so later, you see them kind of exit out of Ancrag. However, the movements were very kind of calm, I guess is the best way to describe it, on their entrance. They seem a bit more scattered on their exit. And during the course of the escape of the lights, you do see a massive shadow come up out of Ancrag, and then a very bright light start descending from the shadow into those lights, snuffing them out and burning the ground around it. And
Well, Druid
Struck by
problems
lightning.
dealt with.
the shadow then starts to patrol the area around Ancrag. How would you like?
What are we in?
That's a great question. You set up camp. I don't know what anybody had said regarding.
What does the top of Whitehammer look like? I think we decided
well,
to camp
you-
above.
We got the 18 with the survival. What were we able to find? Like, what was?
Yeah, sure. So you kind of are closer to inland, like away from the cliff a bit, and are kind of set in like a secondary cliff, like face that's close enough to the lava tubes to kind of get the benefit of the warmth of the lava tubes, but you're kind of away from the wind so that the kind of noxious fumes of the tubes are kind of blowing past you / above you.
I could also cast Tiny Hut. I always have that.
You're already asleep.
Oh, I thought you were talking about when we did our camp in the first place.
Now we're already in the second watch. What kind of doorway did we have to the camp that we did make?
There's no doorway. It's not so much like a cave. It's more just kind of like a recess in the wall.
Okay. It didn't seem like it saw me the first time, so I'll just stay close to the edge and watch, see
Okay.
where it goes, and be ready to get them up if I need to.
It continues patrolling. It's a ways out. Again, these are kind of 7-mile hexes, so you're kind of seeing this from far off. It's
Mhm.
it's kind of like looking at an airplane that's like rolling over, like the center of the city, whereas you're kind of like towards the edge of it. But what I would say is it does start to seem like its circling widens, like it's heading outwards.
And closer to us.
Like if it continues this kind of
Outward spiral
this
kind of deal.
if you had to like look at the progress it's making, it seems that it spirals like an exiting out spiral, kind of an opening and widening spiral, not a tight circle.
Do I feel like we are in imminent danger? Like
If
that, in a way that we are going to be spotted by this thing on the path it's on.
It just depends. There's definitely not like an open position that you're in. There are probably some efforts you could take to try and shore up your visibility. So I guess the main question, kind of what I'm thrusting to you, is the ball is in your court. If your idea in your head is I want to be less detectable, then we can play with that. If your idea is I want to get everyone up and fucking run, that's another thing we can play with. It's just you are the one who has the onus of what you're doing because you're the one that's conscious.
No, I would then just keep the eye on it. I
Okay.
want to be prepared to wake them if need be, but I would prefer they get as much rest as possible to be able to react faster.
Okay. Not a problem. So I'm going to use the survival checks low roll for the DC for visibility, since a active effort was not made to try and shore it up or hide it further. And I'm going to make a perception roll with my dragon. All right. So as you're kind of keeping an eye on it, focused, your watch is kind of coming to a close. You do notice that it is kind of spiraling out in your area, and the nature of its spiral being so wide, it's probably only going to get one sweep directly over you. And as it comes around in that way, you're kind of like seeing it come closer and closer. But as you focus on its trajectory and kind of maintain your own level of stealth, it seems to kind of pass by you further astride of the shore than would be necessary for it to kind of get a perfect bead on your position. It's almost as if it's kind of looking down towards the wreckage of Whitehammer, not so much above and inland. You know what I mean?
Envying its own work.
Yeah, possibly, or just double checking.
Okay.
But that's the only sweep that happens before it kind of stops doing its sweeps and moves closer to Ancrag and disappears into darkness. You wake
It
up.
went back to where it's been roosting then, like where I saw it come from.
Yeah, you saw it rise up out of the shadow of Ancrag, which kind of the best way I can kind of describe it is think Mordor, like think like the weird kind of spiry kind of like metal.
But
jutting
it's
out
gone
of
back to nest or roost or whatever.
Absolutely. But yeah, you'd wake up whoever's up for third watch. And let's go ahead and set that in stone now, so we have that. So Uther, your second watch, keyed. Who does first watch? Is that Ezekiel, or would that have been Rolling Rock?
I'll do the first watch.
Okay, and then third watch, would that be Silas or Ezekiel, or both?
I'll do third watch because then I can
Okay.
wake up and start making breakfast as well.
So like a double up.
Oh,
Got it. Cool. Love it. And then the two spellcasters of the arcane nature kind of get their
Sleepy times.
full on rest. Gotta get their beauty sleep.
Nappy boys.
Upon awakening, You kind of go through your standard morning practices, and of course, if traveling is the goal, then let us have it.
We will be traveling with caution on this day after I tell them all about the dragon, and it's being 10 minutes from us at best.
Cool. What do we know about the port that Flap Flap was at? Is it a port for other means? Is there possibly ships or any other vessel?
It is kind of. It is very small. It's more or less. It's from what you know, it's just a landing point for Flap Flap. Whatever kind of port positioning that's still there, it's kind of the infrastructure is removed when Flap Flap takes off.
I wasn't sure what we actually know about the place other than it's just where Flap Flap lands.
You can certainly.
I assumed it was pretty dead. It was just empty space for them to land in.
I was
Close enough
just
for
being
these
hopeful.
guys.
Absolutely. You can certainly go there to check, like and just roll past. But yeah, you would have to. I'll explain in this next 10-foot movement if you continue on your path why that might be harder than you would think.
No, if it doesn't work out, we're still downriver of anything, so I wouldn't want to risk it if there's nothing.
Okay.
If there's not like a likely chance that we'll find some ship to hire or something.
Well, after you kind of do your morning prayers and rituals to kind of prepare your spells, eat food, and kind of get ready for the day, you would have a choice at this point. There's the path that kind of leads closer to the cliff face of the mountain road, and then there's the path that follows along the cliff. It doesn't like go off the cliff like the Whitehammer path does. It just kind of keeps closer to shore than otherwise. Which of those two paths, and you can kind of see it in the hexes here, you can go north or south. Which of those two paths would you prefer? Based on what you know, both should lead to the mountain bridge, or the dwarf bridge.
I'm really not a fan of water.
I would
Or those merfolk.
I would err on the side of caution and stay mountainous, so there's less open air to be spotted from.
Okay.
So I vote north.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's right.
All right. So go ahead and give me a d20 roll for random encounters.
Okay.
Cool. And
6.
you would then see that the road that you have chosen, it's not really much of a worked road to begin with, but when you kind of find where the this makeshift road, more a trail than anything, kind of terminates. It terminates at an actual road, and the road seems to go into the cliff face, and you can actually see it expel out of the cliff face on a kind of switchback series that goes up the cliff with dwarven posts, large dwarven statues that are kind of looking out from the cliff. So there's this kind of cavern-like structure at the base of the road series, and then there are these poster marks on each of the I'm going to say it, switchbacks. That
You
are
already
kind of-
did.
I'm going to say it 3 more times. It's my favorite word, you guys. I love it. It's a good word. But yeah.
We say poster mark like
Like
just markings for the trail.
yeah, just like a big ass dwarven statue that kind of, not like gargantuan or anything, but like
Sure.
basically just like a statue at the end of the trail up that starts the trail up some more.
I'm happy with this choice. I think Rolling Rock and Nyx would like those.
That road.
Did we get any information about those first dwarves we saw that were flying the enemy's banners that we saw from the mountaintop over here?
Nope.
Whitehammer didn't mention them.
That like cavalry?
Okay.
Didn't know anything about him. Yeah, he knows about the Dwarfs of Ancrag, though. The deep Dwarfs of
Yeah.
Ancrag.
But all the markings we're seeing over here appear to be like the Whitehammer and Crag stuff and not the bad boys.
Yeah, and just to make sure you understand, too, the switchback is the mountain road, goes up to the mountain road. The road itself that I'm talking about that you're connecting with looks like it goes towards the riverway. So it looks like it continues on to the west. So you basically had a trail that connects to a real road. This real road seems to go towards the Dwarven Bridge and is connected to the mountain road ascent. Make sense?
Yeah.
So from this point, you could go up to the mountain road and possibly engage with Ancrag directly, or you can move to the mountain bridge or the dwarf bridge and move across to the isle there.
I'm ready for a new landmass. You guys want to go to Ancrag?
That
Well,
sounds
There's a dragon there.
Whatever you
Yeah,
just
I'm
turned
not-
on, Jeremy, on your screen, like it made your screen so white. It was like, blah!
I didn't turn on anything. I don't know what it was.
On your monitor, whatever you were looking at on your monitor. Like,
Nothing. I've not changed a thing.
lean back for me. That was weird. Like, well, I'll show it back in the stream.
Your brightness kind of adjusts as you go,
Oh, okay, weird.
and it just like sort of flashed white. There it went, just then.
Okay. I don't know what that is. But yeah, so you can go up the mountain road or you can go across the Dwarven Bridge. Or back the way you
I
came.
vote bridge.
But the main thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and the last thing I want to point out is the path directly south is not an option. You can go back towards where you camped at Whitehammer, but this divide is wide enough that you're kind of up in the mountains a bit more than the cliff was. All right, Dwarf Bridge. All right,
We're
that's
out of here.
2 hexes so far. When you arrive at the Dwarf Bridge, it definitely does look like it is in a bit of disrepair. I would say the best way to kind of describe it is it looks like entire chunks of the mass of the Dwarven Bridge have kind of fallen away, and there are points inside of the river below, a very wide open river. Think more kind of like Ohio River kind of size-wise than smaller ones. But there are large chunks of the bridge that appear to have fallen into the river and remain there. It does look like there is a pathway that maneuvers across the bridge, but it's not like a straight shot. It looks like it's kind of broken up in such a way that you're kind of winding across the broken crags that remain of the Dwarven Bridge. The other thing you would note is there are similar statue whatever the statue sits on. My brain is not working. I'm sorry, you guys. Plinths. My brain.
The ground.
No, they're like specific statue placement places. They're called plinths. It looks like the statues have been knocked off of their plinths as well.
So does this seem like it's in disrepair because of age and neglect, or because of damage from something external?
It definitely looks like intentional damaging.
Better hope so. There's
Vandals.
many doors living around.
Place went to hell overnight.
Not great for their reputation.
So this is like beyond like the mending cantrip, I assume.
Yeah. So the bridge itself is
More than
probably
crack. Yes.
the bridge itself is probably about 100 foot wide, and there are
Stonemasonry's easy.
there are parts that are easily like a good 40 foot of material that have been just kind of excavated out of the side of the bridge through some sort of detonation or explosion or heavy force applied to the bridge.
Like a dragon.
I'm not going to say it's a dragon, but yeah, it definitely does have similar kind of markings to dragon destruction.
This guy's just owning this peninsula.
But like it's still,
How did he not catch that island?
But like it's got it, but it's
He's
not
He's got a
collapsed
treaty with
completely.
the goblins.
You get off this time. Slow moving island.
Get off my lawn.
There's always a bigger fish, or in this case, a bigger goblin city. Out of character note, Steve kind of set the pace for goblins in the campaign setting. They definitely lean more Ravnica goblin than like D&D goblin. They're very like artificery, tech savvy, like, you know, focused on using magic for like cool ideas. So the Flying Goblin City probably has all sorts of crazy like Eldritch Cannon and artificery fuckery. So the dragon's probably not going to be like, oh yeah, I'll get him. I'm going to bring that whole city. I'm going to bring a whole city down.
It's gonna be a laser cannon or something.
Yeah.
But so if we're gonna cross regardless, I'm assuming there's probably weaker and stronger points to the bridge.
It doesn't look like there's anywhere that would be treacherous for you to kind of like fall through. That's not a thing that's here. The main thing is like the structural integrity of the bridge is dwarvish still. It looks like it's going to remain in its current stature for Eternia. The problem is it looks like there's been a lot of damage to it, not structural damage. I mean, it's still very much load-bearing and supported. It just looks like fuckery.
Vandalized and
Okay, I would just want to make sure we're not going to
Insulting.
fall through it as we're walking across.
If you've played Zelda, like think of like the Hyrulean Bridge. Like there's pieces of it missing. You can kind of make your way across it still, but it's like, you know, fucked up. It's decently fucked up. Okay, so moving on to the bridge, the main thing you're kind of getting from the air here is you're getting less of a mountainous kind of feel as you kind of descend a bit down the bridge. It makes its way to the other side, and there is a bit of a slope to the bridge, but not like so much that it's noticeable. It's just a light gradient downwards. It does land at a point on the opposite side, a lower point. And on the opposite side, you can see nothing but kind of open fields of like mostly just sand and brush. It's not
Lovely.
It's not quite desert. It's more kind of scrubland on the opposite side. And every so often you can see kind of banks or like small patches of blackened sand.
Let's watch out for land sharks and bullets.
and that dragon, because goddamn, you can't let things go.
With the temperature being kind of autumnal, autumny, it does have a less kind of heat temperament here, but there's still enough of sunlight on this bright, shiny day for you to kind of get that mirage effect at some points in the scrubland. And there are also other points where it almost looks like there are like small ponds of glass nearby or to where you are. Rolling Rock, you're clear-minded enough to realize that they're not illusions. You go over and you do see that there are ponds of solid glass that are kind of formed on parts of the scrubland here.
Could
Okay.
that be from the? I'm sorry, Steve. I was just going to say, could that be from Dragonfire on the sand?
Yeah, that's pretty much a guarantee what it was, because to get the heat form into glass. Definitely.
You need
So
to
either the
collect
dragon
some
was probably
sand.
running down the survivors from White Hammer, probably.
So, Rolling Rock, I'd like for you to go ahead and make a glass blowers check with intelligence as the ability there. Okay.
I tap on my circlet. I'm big smart now.
I would tell you that what you're looking at is known as dragon glass. Dragon glass is formed by dragon breath against sand. It is a rarity in dragon or in glass kind of communities. It's very hard to make without the assistance of a dragon. But you would know that if you were to kind of maneuver about this specific position on the opposite side of the bridge and kind of farm the glass for a day, you could probably gather a substantial amount of the dragon glass. And you're probably asking what's the purpose. Dragon glass can be used as a ingredient in specific crafting. It's kind of similar in like the glass blowers kind of mentality to like a metal worker finding mithril.
I mean, Nyx would
So
use it
against
to
White
admire his
Walkers.
own appearance.
And I would say too, like a pound of dragon glass probably 100 gold pieces if you're looking for a valuation of it.
Yeah, if the group doesn't mind spending the time, this is a very rare and valuable material. It could come in handy.
Hell yeah, we got nothing but time.
Okay.
I think Uther be happy to help you.
So
Spins around and looks east.
with your travel thus far, I would say with the amount of time that's kind of left over for the rest of the day, a full downtime activity is not possible. But if you're wanting to kind of spend the remainder of the day, I'll let you go ahead and roll a d4.
If we work as a team to help him try to collect it
That's
with
with
his
his
guidance.
assistance. Yeah, it's
Okay.
Okay, so you as a collective are able to kind of muster 5 pounds of dragon glass with the remainder of the day, if that's what you are all engaging in. If less people engage in it, the number will trickle down. So is everybody cool with farming dragon glass for the remainder of the day?
Put your gloves
Might as
on.
well
It's very sharp.
make use of this tragedy.
Okay. Yeah, so the vibe you're getting out here in the scrubland is like there's there's a humidity. There's like a nice cool wind kind of blowing in from the south and from the river. But yeah, it's very much just dry. And then there are some patches of kind of damp. And then there are the patches of like completely blasted. It's a potch of just all these different elements kind of present in one. But as you finish out the day and kind of muster together with your shards of dragon glass, 5 pounds of dragon glass, I assume you'd prepare to rest at that point. Okay.
Yep.
Watch cycle was already discussed, so I just need 3 rolls of the randomness, and then we'll get on with the rest of the. Okay. Chody, go ahead and roll me a D100.
That fucking dragon.
No, it's not.
Hi.
It's not gonna be a dragon. Not with that roll. Okay. So
Doing a 3 though, that's good.
during the first watch, which was Rolling Rock, if I recall correctly, I need you to go ahead and make a perception roll as you are kind of maintaining the vigil over the camp.
Got a 23.
Really good.
What's your A game today?
Just really excited about this dragon glass, so I got my eyes peeled. I wanted no one sneaking up and stealing it. There's goblins around.
Now they all took off.
Whoa! Thought you were better than that.
Still a dwarf, you know.
Oh, I wasn't saying 100% to. God damn it! Why did you say there's goblins around? No, they will not take your glass. Oh my god, where's my brain at? Okay, cool. So I would assume that just for temperament, you kind of would find a nice spot, nested within kind of a large grouping of stone. If you want to make a survival roll for me, that'd be swell.
Oop.
Uther, you're the survivalist. This is the camp setup.
22.
Okay. So my presumption is that
Oh, a map.
your camp would probably be here-ish.
What kind of water is that?
It is kind of a mix of fresh and salt. It's
That's
not.
still
Would
salt.
we camp in a labyrinth?
Well, I was going to say it's kind of a mix of fresh and salt. It's more fresh to the north. It's more salt to the south. It's not that each pond is a mix of both.
Okay.
Sorry.
Like, that's still salt water.
Yeah, like this grotto here, hold
The
on.
half cap.
This grotto here is probably more the line. Below that, it's probably saltier. And so, should be able to. Sorry, Roll20 is being a goober.
Is this map also very undersized?
No, it's the right
Okay.
size.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of found this nice little nook here, and probably put people to kind of rest about, and you probably took a position. This would be Rolling Rock, up on the rocks, kind of looking out and keeping an eye out around. Does that sound fair? No answer, so I'm going to assume that's a yes.
Yeah. Sure. He's rolling around.
I'd be like watching from a vantage point.
Well, yeah, I was
Over.
I was mainly focused on Uther being the one who answered how the camp would be set up. But this is a pretty defensible position. With
Oh yeah, I was waiting for Steve to answer too because you were talking about Rolling Rock being in the spot. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, like
I
if
would
they're
want the high
sleeping
ground,
down
but-
below, then I'd make sense to be up and kind of like keeping an eye out, just kind of sitting and looking over.
Okay. So, looking out to the south, which is kind of down the coast of the river, further out towards the ocean, and so on, you do see during the kind of middle portion of your watch some lights kind of moving towards the shore of the river. The lights seem to be connected to a small craft. You're not able to make out the details regarding the craft due to its distance away, but what you do see is that the lights do move off of the craft and kind of move inland and kind of start making their way towards the kind of grouping of rocks, the rocky formations you found to kind of take and settle into.
So the lights are coming towards our position. Do we have a campfire going?
I would assume with the temperature and also the wind buffer that you have, it's probably the case that you don't. But again, I'll leave it to the party. Uther, you would be the camp setter.
I would say no
You know, it's
for being out in the middle of nowhere in the open.
it's probably about 60 degrees at night or 50 degrees at night during autumn out this way, so it's not too bad.
Most of us have bedrolls.
Yeah.
Somebody cuddle Silas.
My bedroll got wet because I
Yeah, it did.
someone.
He's also cold blooded.
And if you want to position
Thank you.
yourself in and about kind of like the area, like where you would be kind of sleeping, that's fine, but it would probably be kind of not too far off from one another.
I'd say that's good enough.
Okay.
Silas, cuddle somebody.
Yes.
Also, I don't think Nyx is
dog.
warm-blooded.
I'm really
I don't
furry.
think Nyx is blooded.
Well, no, does he must have blood, right?
Yeah.
There's some kind of goo in
It's
there.
kind of
Have
like a
blood.
chitinous thing on the outside. Yeah, I'm sure once you.
Do ants have blood?
Hemolymph.
Yeah.
There's something similar to blood.
Yeah.
Never even occurred to me.
It's just goo.
They have
Well,
a
Don't we all have just goo?
yellowish or greenish interior.
Yeah, but we have named goos.
Regardless, hit the whatever is all.
We
the
have
control or
understood
whatever,
goo.
and pull your guys off the grid and jump in here with us.
But yeah, you would see the guy or
Cuddle pile.
these folks kind of maneuvering onto shore. You would see that the lights kind of go out, but even still, you kind of, with your high perception check there, with the starlight as well, kind of have an idea of their movements. It seems like they are moving towards the rocky formation, and it looks like they are entering from the south side, which is kind of a narrow pathway that leads into these structures. You'd see if you're kind of maintaining a vigil and not doing anything, you can do whatever you want, by the way.
Yeah, I guess what I would do is these gaps. Can I just hop them, or like I don't have to jump them? Or
Yeah, if your strength is 10, you can jump without a running jump 5 feet, no problem. So you can hop from one to the other, no issue. If
Yeah,
you-
I think I just kind of position myself so I could kind of put my up against the rock to kind of get a line of sight down.
and
How
then-
high above
down
ground
this-
is he? Just curious.
So these are only about 10 feet on that kind of first rung, and then like the second tier of the cake, if you will, is kind of closer to 20 feet. So the layer that he's currently on is about 10 feet up.
Okay.
You kind of
20 feet at the max.
Yeah.
Just
So-
sort of slopes up.
Yeah, you can kind of see like there's a couple of levels here. This level here is
Sure.
probably closer to 5 or on par with where you're at.
Something negligible.
Yeah. So once you kind of get there and put your back against the wall, kind of looking out that way, I'd like for you to go ahead and make a stealth check.
Oh no!
Mm.
It's I got a 5.
Okay. Almost like deer in headlights. The vision that you kind of see are two women, strangely dressed, across the way from you, directly south. Looks like they've just climbed up onto the rocks, and as you kind of are moving, you can hear yourself, and you kind of like, and you see them kind of staring at you, and you kind of like lock eyes for a bit. They kind of tilt their heads confused, and then kind of like whisper something to one another and reach for what appear to be long bows and start moving them into kind of a holding posture. The thing you notice about these two individuals is they appear to be human, kind of a bit paler in skin, and it looks like their arms are a bit longer than a typical human's. Like where a human's hands kind of go down to like the buttocks and kind of mid-thigh region, theirs kind of go down to their knees.
Seeing the kind of starting to get aggressive, because I kind of take a knee behind it, kind of give myself some cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I'd like to cast. Here's my attention.
I will let you know, since you don't have them surprised due to your horrible stealth, it is falling into initiative.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, they're just ready to rumble. I thought we were still kind of sizing each other up.
Oh no, they're shooting you.
Oh no.
Yeah. Sorry, you misapprehended the I'm getting my bows ready.
Are we on initiative?
But Uther is fast.
You are.
I'm asleep right now, but I will be.
You are unconscious. That is true. However, if the fight does grow in loudness, there will be a percentage, or there will be a perception check.
How shitty was his stealth check with us
Because
sleeping
how
below his
hard did he
heavy
crash
jump?
into that rock with all his heavy armor?
It's not that bad, you guys.
Okay, just making sure.
Absolutely. Good call, though. I'll go with... Yeah, that's fine.
Roll the rock fell up the way up there. Like he tripped and just rolled up the rocks.
Brett, what's your dex?
It is a 1.
Okay, I am ahead of you.
And... Did that roll out loud?
No.
Okay, cool. All right. Uther, you are unconscious. Cool. Silas, you are unconscious. Cool. Rolling Rock, you are conscious. So just so we understand how consciousness and unconsciousness works. If loud sounds and things start happening, perception checks will be made. If you are sleeping, you have disadvantage on these perception checks. The DC will be assigned by me. If you are conscious and you want unconscious people to be awake, you can A, make a loud noise, and then everybody gets a perception check, which could or could not wake them. Or if you want the guaranteed, I'm waking somebody up. If you are adjacent to a sleeping creature, you can use your action to wake them up.
Wake up next. Wake up next.
Can you just keep his elbow and get all 5 of us at the same time?
I have a plan.
Everyone else is asleep, so only Steve.
He's only got 2 elbows.
Let me tell you my intention. I want to use Molder to raise 5 feet of earth underneath Uther so that it knocks him up and he falls over onto Ezekiel.
Okay, so that's an interesting use of your action to wake them up. I do like that. What I will allow is Uther will be instantaneously awoken, or Ezekiel will be instantaneously awoken. Your choice. Are you wanting to more use Uther as like a bounce up in the air and land on Ezekiel hard, or kind of lift Uther up and then just slightly tilt him to guarantee?
No, I'm trying to bounce him on top of him, so it's kind of like a.
So we're talking about
a jolt up, like what the?
We're talking about a heavy throw on Uther. So Uther's instantaneously woken up. You are conscious. Ezekiel, on the other hand, due to you just being kind of bumped by a flying Uther, perception check, the DC of which is a meager 12. Yeah, so, bam, Uther is on top of you, and kind of bounces off of you a bit as you're laying there. Now,
You both blush.
another thing I need to point out, if you are wearing armor, and it is not light armor, you are not sleeping in your armor. That's just not a thing that happens, because it will cause you to become exhausted afterwards. So just be aware that if you were wearing armor that is not light armor, you are probably not wearing it while you sleep. Unless you have
It's
to...
mostly just Ezekiel, yes?
I think
As a free
Ezekiel's-
action, I'll just tell them as they're kind of in their stupor of like getting out, just be like, lads, we got some bandit women southwise, longbows on them.
Rock, you are done. Nyx, you are asleep.
Do I hear anything by this rock being moved right beneath me?
No, it was shifted underneath Uther. Uther's a big lad. You're not sleeping that close. It's 5 foot. So yeah, he was thrown up and kind of slammed into Ezekiel. It wasn't a loud enough clangor for me to say that everyone gets one.
No worries. So
Um,
do I get a perception check?
Nope, nothing loud has happened yet. Hunters. Okay, so looking at the situation, this one very kind of deftly jumps to here and then kind of climbs up onto this rock. This one very quickly, deftly jumps up onto this. As they're moving, you can see their arms kind of just shoot out, grab a hold of the rock, and kind of lift them up onto the positions. They seem to be very agile. And then once they kind of get into their top positions, they pull their bows and fire down towards Rolling Rock. From the one on the left, you'll have cover, so +2 to your armor. But for the one on the right side, these will be made normal. All right. 1 and 2. All right. 15 doesn't hit, right?
No.
Okay. So the first one fires, it kind of skitters off the top of the rock. The second one kind of pulls the arrow and fires, and it hits the pauldron, kind of bounces in the air, kind of as it stopped mid-flight. But it was a pretty true shot, just one shy. As they kind of take their positions, one of them kind of like looks to the side and makes a strange sound, which sounds like a mix between a bird and like a dog. It's a very strange kind of guttural beast sound that she lets loose. And from what you saw, there were definitely more than 2 on that boat. All right. Bodhi, you're unconscious.
I guess so.
Razika, what's your dexterity?
1.
Okay, so then yeah, Bodhi would be continued to unconscious before you take your turn.
So is there like a time? Like, how long does it normally take to put heavy?
4
armor on?
minutes.
4 minutes. Oh yeah, I can put that on there to fight. Okay. So what's base armor class then? Would it just be
Dexterity
10?
+10.
Okay, so I'd
So
be,
11.
and I could pick my shield up. I would think.
Yeah, it's an action to don your shield.
Okay, so I'll pick my shield up and be ready to fight. So my armor class would be 13.
Another way I typically do it, what kind of what kind of heavy armor were you wearing?
It is split armor.
Okay, so I would assume that the undergarment for that would be padded, kind of like a simple padding. So you could be wearing that, which means that you'd have an 11 base, and then plus your dexterity modifier plus your shield, so 14.
Unarmored is 10 plus dex, right?
Yeah, but again, the way I imagine heavy armor is, it's not like just metal. They also have the under padded armor that's kind of worn underneath.
Okay.
Okay, so
And-
shield. Standing up is 15 feet, or half your movement rather, and then incidental, draw your weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I don't think I can climb or jump up any of these with my last remaining movement.
So you could go up 10 feet if you wanted to make an athletics check. I'd allow that.
Try.
Okay. You scramble up the stone easily enough. You can move up that 5 feet, sure.
Can he shout as a free action?
Yeah, but shouting again is not something that you're going to be like sleeping, cognizantly aware of. Things that are outside the norm of talking, because you're expecting people to kind of communicate while they're watching over you, you're not going to get a perception check for just free actions. Again, I understand you want to be awake. Mechanically, it's going to be someone performing an action that's very loud, or someone using the action to directly wake you up.
Okay, and then I guess as my bonus action, if I still have that, I'm going to Giant's Might so I can be big boy.
Okay. I assume like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Immediately upon kind of growing up over the cover, the 2 women kind of turn their bows towards you.
On a wave.
Sure. Uther, you are lying prone. You were probably pushed off of Ezekiel as he stood up and started throwing onto his garb. Nyx, Silas, and Bodhi are all still asleep.
I will do something. I've been thinking about it. Trying to figure it out. Give me a minute.
Got this. You got all the time in the world. It's only
All the
6:19.
time in the world.
And if you spend 40 minutes on your turn, so be it.
Yeah, I'm gonna Hail of Thorns, grab my bow, and since I've got the slippers, I'll just crawl up to the top of the peak
Okay,
and put a shot over the top at the one that's standing up here.
got it. Go for the shot.
$14 to hit.
That'll do it. And the thorns.
Did I say I cast this? Oh, yes, I did. Good, cool. Deck save.
Failed it.
Sorry, I had lost my cursor. Plus a D10.
I've been doing that so much lately.
Ooh, hole 2.
Yeah. So not enough. You fire the arrow, it hits and detonates in her shoulder, causing her to kind of drop to the side, the thorns kind of splintering all over to the ground next to her. As she kind of pushes herself off the ground with her strangely long arm, you see her kind of like spitting blood and thorns out of her mouth.
And I shoot her in that mouth. 18 to hit for 9 more.
As the arrow kind of enters into her face, her body kind of like flies backwards off of the rock with a loud kind of sickening thud.
Aim for soft targets so you can recover arrows.
Youth are done. Silas, you are unconscious. Rolling Rock, you are up.
I want to do the same thing, but I don't know if Silas will crush Nyx, or if Nyx is heavy enough to wake up Silas.
Nyx is made of chitin. Like he's
I'll be okay.
he is
You
basically.
weren't there, but I carried him like a baby in the rain because he was dying.
That's
He
true.
ain't got no blood.
He ain't got no real blood.
He's got goo.
Yeah, are you a little bit jagged? Do you think if I dropped you on Silas, you'd wake him up?
I mean, if you could just wake me up, I could use my next action just to jostle him awake. Easy peasy.
I'm trying to get those 2-for-1s, you know?
Yeah, he's going for
So
efficiency.
if you want to mold Earth and throw Silas onto Nyx, I mean, I'll allow it. It's fine.
Great. Perfect. You take this much bludgeoning damage.
But-
That's what I feel like he's gonna
So,
crush.
so you understand, it's the same situation as before. Who are you wanting to be kind of the receptor of the instantaneous awake, and who do you want to be the one that makes the perception
Keep
check?
in mind, my action is next.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I want to wake up, get Silas or Nyx instantly awake.
So you're
and then
shooting-
hopefully,
You're shooting Nyx up onto Silas, bonk,
yeah.
and kind of hitting him. So Silas, go ahead and make a perception check. DC's 12. And again, because you're sleeping, you have disadvantage on it.
Oh, Silas, he's dreaming of bacon.
Basically, like the dromite hitting the side of your face is not enough to wake you. He kind of lets out one of those sleepy kind of like he's trying to eat the ant creature. But yeah, he is not awakened by the
He
bonk.
shoves Nyx away and rolls back over.
Worked first
Uh-oh.
time. As a bonus action, I'll just awaken my totem or whatever.
Okay. Enchant totem. Ba-ding. Nyx, you are up. You are still prone, despite being kind of vaulted a bit. And
I'm on top of Silas, yeah?
it's more than fair, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the heel of my foot and pop him in the nose.
Okay. Your action is to wake Silas. Silas, you are awakened.
Wake up, buddy.
You like kicked him in the face?
Yes, I wanted to make sure.
Can I?
That's where
flip
that's
out
where
and
his
try to bite
teeth
him?
sleep.
Make a perception check.
Did you see that's where his teeth sleep?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're
Where
very.
the rest of him was sleeping.
His snout.
Let me explain what happened to you, Chody, because this is definitely something I can explain to you easily enough. Someone who was very, very close to you in the sleeping process rolled into you very heavily, and it kind of left you groggy for a second. And then the next thing you know, that person is kind of hitting you in the face, even though you're like in this drowsy state of close to cognizant because of the initial transgression, where you understand that you're being kicked and why. Like,
Oh, so I understand that it's
Yeah.
not
That-
angry.
First, a dromite was launched onto you, and then
That's
that
it.
dromite kicked you.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't biting back,
It
because
was-
that was my first response.
There was
No,
more.
no.
There was more of like a 3-second gap in there where it was like, no, 5 more minutes. like you were there, but you weren't quite there. You know what I mean?
Okay, as long as it wasn't too much of a shock, because like I said, I was going to attack him or bite him, one of the two.
Oh, I
so-
understand, 100%.
Okay, so I get up and look around. Do I see anything?
Well, it's not your action yet.
I
You're
mean, as a free
I'm just
action, I
awake.
would say we're under attack.
Yep, and because of the place
Got it.
you're camping, you're kind of inside of like a neat little kind of walled area. Okay, so it would go to them. Uther, you're kind of like hanging onto the edge, kind of popped over with your bow. Ezekiel, you're kind of standing there, kind of like, very prominently. And Rolling Rock, you're kind of crouched down behind the cover, looking down at your allies.
I'd be stuck to the wall, like firing over the edge of it with
Yeah,
cover.
I assume it's like feet,
Like
knees
leaning
kind of
back.
close
Yep,
in.
my
kind
feet
of-
planted, and I'm hanging off of it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. You see about 7 more of these individuals pop up onto the ridge.
God damn it.
How many arrows you got?
3.
Shit.
No, 2.
Shit.
I make 2 attacks a turn. Ezekiel, fetch.
I
Bear
said
with me
make
here.
arrows with the glass.
And Ezekiel, you're the only one tall enough to see, or potentially see this other one. I need you to make a perception check. Sufficient. So you would see a guy, kind of like white streaks on the sides of his hair, black leather armor, and a sword that seems to be kind of glowing this light greenish color, kind of moving across the way, and he very quickly kind of tucks into the space to your kind of side there. And then the other ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 6. All kind of rush up onto the ridge in a very kind of sudden fashion, all of them dropping to knees and like leaning back, drawing their bows out with their massive arms, getting this huge kind of like draw distance. And they all fire at Ezekiel. Because you're a big target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Your current armor class is 14, right?
Yeah.
Miss, hit, miss, hit.
Let me silvery barbs the first
You
hit.
cannot see the
I cannot
target.
see. Okay.
You are literally on the ground 10 feet below the ridge we're fighting on.
Okay.
So, any responses from you, Ezekiel, Rolling Rock, or Uther, though? You can't see. Are there any reactions from you folks? Nothing? Okay. So the total damage
Lose button.
will be 14, 19, 26, 37 total damage
No.
as the 5 arrows kind of slam into you. Or, yeah, 5 arrows slam into you. Pretty heavy shots. It seems like they have like a pretty strong draw on those arrows. Again, I just want to make sure, because it does look like you're commenting it in the side, I want to make sure you understand who you're fighting. There was the
Please.
primer regarding long-arm humanoids, or humans, also mentioned a couple times in the handout. Denisotvans are an older humanoid people who are just like regular humans, with the exception of they have longer arms. So these are Denisotvans, the people from the west. Anywho, the one who kind of rushes into the corner doesn't seem to do anything, but he looks like he has purpose and intent, whereas these ones look like they're kind of just jumping up, seeing biggest target and shooting. Bodhi, you are still
Wait, but
unconscious, yeah.
I'm okay with it.
I'm gonna say with the amount of damage that Ezekiel got hit by,
I hear a howl.
yeah,
Bark.
I'm gonna say
Woo!
that's a loud enough action. The
Somebody
thuds,
kick the dog.
that's a bit more damage than Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check. The DC will be high. It's going to be a.
Is this my action? Is the perception check?
No.
Assuming I
This would be in response. It's just something that happens when he takes the damage. So the DC is 17. And again,
14.
No, it's actually 0 because you have disadvantage. You're sleeping. Yeah. Okay. So
I sleep like a stone.
Bodhi sleeps.
Absolutely sawing logs down there.
Or is it people dying around
That's
you?
how they found us.
Just another Tuesday. Just so Ezekiel smash, pain, and you definitely see all these targets in front of you. It does look like this other one is obviously a prime target, but there isn't enough space for you to kind of settle down without squeezing in the kind of cavities beneath you.
Okay, I'm gonna bonus action second wind.
Mm-hmm.
I got messed up just now.
Absolutely. So plus your level. Yeah.
A little less hurt. A little less hurt. I don't really have anything, so I'm going to.
What you gonna do?
Check and see what I got here.
Now you can pop down into like the alcoves with the water, and you know the water's not deadly or anything. It's nothing crazy. In fact, everything kind of north of the salt grotto over here is fairly drinkable.
I'm going to, as a free action, can I alert the team that there's another guy that they probably can't see? Like,
Yeah.
can I say, hey, there's another dude walking around here.
You can say there's a guy over here, but you can't like point out exactly where their location is. So he's,
Yeah, no, I was just letting them know that there's one they can't see.
got it.
And then,
He's still
as my
technically hidden.
action, I'm going to take the dodge action heroically.
Good call. Ezekiel Dunn, Uther, you are the one that is up.
Bodhi's still asleep, right?
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah.
That's a lot of them. The one that I killed, did I blow her off of the mountain?
Yeah, you shot her directly in the face, and she flew off the back of the ridge.
Okay, that sucks. Yeah, I'm just gonna go down and pick up Bodhi then.
Okay. Action to wake him up.
Yep, I'm gonna shake him. I'm gonna climb right back up here
Okay.
and hold him like on
With
my
me?
knee.
Oh, you're picking him up.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab him by the shirt, bring him up here with me, and set him on my lap like a little baby. Come on, buddy. So when it's his turn, he's awake with me up here, and he can see over the mountain.
Thinking about it. Yeah, I'll allow it. I need you, Uther, to make an athletics check.
15.
Sufficient. Okay, so yeah, everything you just described is exactly how it happens. You pick him and shake him as you're kind of like lifting him up. You kind of put your
Spider
feet,
slipper down the wall, grab him
hold
by
it,
the shirt,
kind of
hold
hold
him
I
it,
like a
don't
baby.
take
Hold him-
watches.
hold him by the scruff and kind of shake him, and then kind of lift his head up as he's like groggily waking up.
You're not
and
here to take watch. You're here to take aim.
It's
He's-
not morning yet.
he sees the Dennis Ottmans, then you kind of like loose him into your lap to kind of sit there as you kind of like ready yourself back into your firing position with a Bodhi. But you will not be able to fire while you have a Bodhi.
No, I use my action to get him anyway.
Yeah, Bodhi. Yeah, I'm just letting you know. In the next turn, Bodhi will have to have left you for you to
Yep.
be able to fire. Okay, Silas, you are up.
I will. Can I squeeze through the under the dog, or is that not a place we can go?
So yeah, you can move through the
No,
dog's
it's
position.
solid rock underneath him. You
Yeah.
have to
That's
go up
what.
and
Yeah,
over.
I don't know if he's up.
There's
or
not a
not.
hole there.
He's up, yeah. So you could climb up and then like dart underneath him and slide out onto the other side, or you can go around because you would kind of come into this space knowing that this is kind of an entry point.
Okay, and just as my, I don't. I'm trying not to metagame.
Okay.
So as my character, he said there's another guy over here. I'm guessing that he would point or be looking that direction.
Yeah, and he's
Would I
big
know-
enough. His gestures are very clearly pointing to the other side of the rock you're standing next to. So if you want to get to the other side of the rock, it's not metagaming to know that to get there, you just run around the top. 5,
Okay.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can get to right here on the opposite side, and yeah, you'd be fine. So go ahead and make a perception check once you get there.
What would the check be to make the 10-foot climb?
So it wouldn't be a check. It just would be half your speed to go
6.
up, and then move across would be 10 feet, and then to drop down to be 10 more feet. You'd get to the same kind of positioning.
Okay.
because he literally just went around full circuit. So yeah.
6.
Yeah, you don't see the guy that he mentioned yet. He must be lurking in the kind of
So-
darkness here.
So I'm going to be ready and take a defensive posture.
Yeah, I didn't use the night variant of this map, and I apologize for that. But yeah, keep in mind it is dark. It's starlit, so it's not completely pitch black. But yeah, it's dark.
They don't seem to be struggling to shoot at us, right?
No problems.
So they have a means of seeing in the dark.
Some means of seeing in the dark, it seems. Silas, you are done. But you said your action was to ready an action to attack?
Defensive
Oh,
posture.
dodge. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Rock. Everyone's awake.
Perfect. Seeing my friend get pincushioned, Rock kind of move up here to kind of make himself seem a bit more of a target, and then you
Okay.
kind of channel a bunch of primal energy into his fist, smashing it down, sending a huge fissure, a crack through down the mountain up here, centering it. I think it'll be about here. I'm going to cast Split Earth, and
Okay.
it'll be a 20-foot cube. So it'll
So,
catch
all
these
those
ones.
Okay.
Or like exploding essentially that cannon.
I assume it's like a glowing fist and like the enchanted totem and both kind of slamming simultaneously, like Hulk smash style. Or
Yeah, just smashing it.
The juggernaut.
Yeah, exactly. And then just this huge crack just flies through and then explodes on that center point.
Love it. Okay, so that is a dex saving throw. They will roll 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, that is the worst 3d12 damage I've ever seen.
Let me see. Spell
Brutal.
descript.
Oh wow.
Additionally, the ground in the
That's
area
rough,
becomes
buddy.
difficult terrain. Can you go ahead and... I got it, actually. Let me draw object. Or maybe I was smart. I could have been smart. Let's see if I was smart. Templates. Second level, right? Or
That's a third level spell, but yeah, I rolled absolute trash on the damage.
I never went and got it. So I'm just gonna do the simple method. Okay, so it's a 20-foot square, right?
Yeah.
Cube.
And it would have been like these ones.
One more down.
Oh, okay. Hold on. So these ones?
Oops. Yeah. Yeah, like this.
Do I have it wrong? I have 4x4,
He wants
right?
to know if he can catch it, the one above it too.
No, so
No.
it can't be just half of them. So it has to be the full like contained. So it's only gonna get 4.
Because he's measuring from centers, not squares.
Yeah, you're measuring
Oh,
from
sorry.
center. It's four squares by 4 squares.
Sorry, yeah, I'm just trying to use the ruler.
Yeah,
that-
no, the tool you
Good
were on
try.
attacked
It-
6 different.
Yeah, so it would hit there, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
leave.
that's fine. That's fine. The damage is pathetic, anyways, and I'm sad.
No worries. I'm gonna put that down as a map marker. That part there is all difficult terrain now. As it
And they
goes.
all fall off the slopes.
Actually, 1,
Suffer head
2,
trauma.
3, 4. Looks
And
like
that one drowns.
I was gonna say that.
the
Club.
2 on the left take the brunt of it. The ones in the right and middle kind of seem to avoid narrowly. And just for dramatic effect, and if you don't agree, then let me know. But the one that's on the left side, as the Earth is kind of splitting, kind of jumps into the air and kind of lands on the opposite side prone. Kind of like an action scene.
With a disgusting head wound.
What is with you wounding their heads?
It's an
Oh.
important. It's a vital spot.
Okay.
Throw on
It's
the
a
forehead.
sharpshooter.
Rolling Rock, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Nix, you are still prone? No, you got up when you woke
Yeah,
up.
he kicked the gator.
Yeah. Had to have
Kick
been
the
standing to
gator.
kick.
So I could. You said I
Florida
could
man.
climb. I can climb up this rock here. I can
Yeah.
scramble up for a 5 and then 10, 15.
15.
So what I'd like to do is kind of like just scramble up just enough to kind of rub Ezekiel's belly a little bit, Good.
Well,
good
he's
guy.
giant size, so to get that belly, you're gonna have to get up there full on. So
How about just
might
his
wanna do
hind
like
legs?
a
Just
haunch
hind leg.
pat.
I was going for a theme, but you get it. You get the idea. And we're gonna help him out. We're gonna do some healing. So
Careful if that leg starts kicking. He can't
I
control
know.
it. He'll take some bludgeoning.
13 back, Ezekiel, and then I'm just gonna, if I can, I would just slide back down to where I was, like
Yeah,
sort of
absolutely.
let go.
Yep. Yeah, your movement would be complete at that. I mean, you're not gonna just fall. You're gonna climb down neatly. But if you're not moving anywhere else, you're fine.
Great.
All right, it'll go to them. So the interest here will jump to that side. This one will move into kind of a cover position, as will this one. And then these two will kind of move into cover positions. While this one drops down here, and this one's just still just oblivious, shooting away. So the one that doesn't understand the dynamic has changed just shoots at Ezekiel, hitting for 8 points of piercing damage. The ones that are aware the dynamic has changed see Rolling Rock as the threat, because caster, and are all shooting at him. You said you jumped up out of cover, so they're all kind of firing neatly at you.
Yeah, I can take it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's your AC?
16.
Oh, well, that's actually not too bad. So miss, hit, miss, hit. So it'll be 7 and 9 damage total.
Right, taking 16 damage.
All right. So you would see kind of coming out of the shadows and kind of directly beneath Ezekiel's kind of light sign there, this individual that I mentioned before, Chody, with kind of gray streaks on the sides of his hair, a dark leather armor. He has the Denisovan arms. And as he's kind of rushing forward, you see his green tin sword, which is a straight sword. Not too dissimilar from a rapier, except that the handle is less kind of embellished and guarded. It's a little bit more like I'd say stylistically, it's a bit more like just a broadsword, simple broadsword. Go ahead.
Just to confirm, the one that hit me was shooting with disadvantage, right? Because I'm dodging.
Yeah, I rolled a 17 and a 16 for you.
Gotcha. I just making sure.
Your AC is 14. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad.
It's okay. As he is rushing towards you, he kind of mutters something and kind of spits at you, like angrily, and then you watch as the green tinge to the blade kind of engulfs the blade in fire, kind of a greenish burning fire. And he will then fight you. 26 and 19 to hit. So
Okay.
first attack will do 11 slashing and 1 fire damage, and the second attack will do 6 slashing and 5 fire damage. So 11 and 12. Whatever the total is there. I don't know how to math. I've never known how.
Oh, what's happening? What's your math?
I think it's
23.
23 damage, yeah. Alright, Bodhi, you definitely hear the sounds of Arcana. I'm going to give you a free Arcana roll, even though you're not trained in it.
Okay. I just woke up, so don't judge me. 19.
Perfect. So you have formed
I can only
under
do it first thing in the morning.
you have formed under a number of different arcane primers. Whatever was just chanted on the opposite side of the wall is known as a blood hunter's curse. So whatever Silas is fighting is basically a person who's designed specifically to murder conglomerate mages.
Ugh. Glad that's over there.
You're like, why do we keep messing with things that the
Oh
conglomerate
shit! Oh no!
is weak to?
Why am I
World hates
exclusively up
mage
against
hunters,
things that want to
blood
kick my
hunters.
ass?
Every other person who plays in like this,
Things that would go out of their
Discord.
way to kick my ass.
100%. But yeah, it is your initiative. That was a free Arcana check on that. It definitely sounds like Silas is now engaging with a blood hunter.
Uther, where are we?
We are just below the peak of the cliff. If you take a step, you'll be on top of the rocks.
So we're about 10 feet up from the surface.
Correct.
And again,
And John, in our understanding of the area around us, since we did set up camp here, how deep is the drop here into this bit of water?
it's
Would
10
that be
feet.
also 10 feet? Okay.
And I'll point out too, for you to step up onto the rock, Uther is not carrying you in a fashion where you're on a stable
I'm
platform.
basically prone, right?
Correct. So you'll be
Okay.
half your movement.
I'm just
to
sort of
get
like
up.
heaving myself up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crawling out of your Goliath and heading off to work.
Eject from the mech.
Uther and Bodhi, the mecha anime. It's Bodhi, Shinji. Ah! It all makes sense now.
As well. Realizing the situation, and
What's the
wish-
Overwatch one?
Oh, Diva?
Paint us pink.
I do love Diva.
Got raised by, was it DPM, BPM?
What are we doing?
I was trying to quote Diva, and I can't remember the term.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's BPM. Or, yeah. Moves per minute? I don't remember.
Go kill
anyway,
something.
no. Seeing Uther
No.
in his small clothes, I am going to twin the spell Shield.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, not Shield, but blah, 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 Mage Armor.
Okay. So
And
then,
give us both 13 plus our Dex modifiers.
yep. You would need to be in touching distance, so when you pop up, you'll be like right here. Mage Armor's got a range of touch.
Like, he's still holding me.
Oh, you're doing it to Uther?
He's
Me
doing
and
it to
Uther.
both of us before he moves.
Uther's wearing leather armor, though, right?
No, I had half plate on, so I'm
Oh.
currently in whatever the padding underneath that is.
Yeah, no, there's not much for
Nothing.
medium armor.
As I was saying.
Sorry, I thought you were doing it to Ezekiel. Apologies. Go
No,
ahead.
no. You're at 13 plus your Dex mod, Jeremy. That is my action. Bonus action. I'm gonna step up with my half movement. Okay, I'm technically under him. Can I see what's going on with Silas from here, or is Dog and Cliff in the way?
If you're underneath Dog, you can see down. It definitely looks like a man wielding a sword ignited with green flame is attacking Silas. And Silas has been kind of cut pretty well by it. And it's kind of,
Everyone sees the green glow.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I had a
RC
sense
glow.
that he was over there anyway. That's marketing's problem. That's Silas's problem. I'm going to, with
Sword
my
glow.
bonus action, Misty Step into this area, hopefully still having cover from the archers.
Okay, so it's specifically a position you can see, so you can't descend down.
Oh, right.
For Misty Step.
My bad.
No worries. If you want to hop up off of Uther and kind of like, you have 15 feet of movement after that, jump up onto the stone, then look down, and then bamf, that's fine. That's a different story. So you could end up here. That's perfectly all right.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that then. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. As you kind of cast the spell and then kind of appear there, you see the man with the green blade kind of slashing into Silas, kind of very quickly look over his shoulder, and then back to Silas, like he notices the spellcraft.
All right.
All right. Bodhi, done. Ezekiel, you are the one that's up.
All right. I'm gonna do something this turn, maybe. I would like to. Let's see here. I don't think I really. Can I walk across the
Yeah.
top area of the map? All right, perfect.
You're big enough that you can kind of just hurtle over the tops of these kind of arts now.
It's 25 feet. That's most of them.
Okay.
It's 25.
Kind of straddling, like you step forward into the space of her, so you're kind of like straddling the divide there, kind of rushing at her. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really much gonna swing on.
Bop. Yeah, as you kind of like stand there and kind of sweep the blade across, it hits her in the chest. It's a vicious kind of cut. It throws her back a bit. she hits, like she kind of falls as she's falling to the side. She hits the divide here and then just kind of bounces between the two rocks, falling to the bottom. And you can see that the cut was heavy enough that when she hits the ground, her eyes are just like dead. You still have a little bit of movement, I think 5 feet. So if you want to stride forward a little bit further.
Yeah, I could do like right.
Yeah, you're still kind of like 1 foot off of the other side, 1 foot kind of in, but you kind of shift your step to like towards her as you're going to bring the blade back around. Go with the second attack.
14 to hit.
That hits. And
Slash.
any bonuses for the giant smite? Or is that just once per turn?
I think it's once per turn. Let me double check.
Okay.
Yeah, one of your attacks with a weapon.
Yeah. So as you kind of like throw the giant blade forward with that kind of rush of strength and spin it back around, the second swing is a little not as strong. So when she kind of sees it coming, she kind of raises her guard up, takes the hit, but it doesn't throw her back. All right. Done. Uther, you're up.
I'll poke my head over. Can I see the two that are hindering? Do they fall over?
No, they moved into cover.
Okay, they're in cover.
Mm-hmm.
These two also.
Yeah, everybody besides the one that's currently being attacked by Ezekiel is in cover.
If I moved up, would it defeat the cover? Am I going to be able to get an angle on them from here?
No, they're just gonna have the +2 to their AC. I would say being in a position of cover or not is not going to change it. There's no way for you to, unless you go like all the way up to like this tippy top, which will prevent you from having any cover.
Not for a minute.
Oh, take the shot on the run. Okay.
Yeah, I'll hop up there with 15 feet.
Depends how they
I'll
have vision.
go for these two back
They might
here.
not be able to see him.
Putting Hail of Thorn.
I will say that because no, Ezekiel's not blocking. He'll move to the side with your kind of teamwork strategy. So yeah, take your 2 shots.
This one first. 11 to hit. Okay, and same target then. 11 to hit.
Ezekiel kind of like moves out of the way, but he moves in a way that you kind of makes you go, fuck! And you got to turn the bow to like get around him. And then as he's kind of shifting on the thing, you're like, no, the other side! And he's like, ah! And he's trying to do this weird dance, like doing the straddle, and it causes you to fire wide both times.
And then Hail of Thorns is active until I hit with an attack, so it's still on.
Oh, you cast it again? Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll hop down the edge of this cliff over here toward Bodhi.
Okay.
And hang off of this wall.
As you kind of hit the sand, it kind of like burst up from the sides of you, and you see the man with the green blade kind of turning his attention more towards his back.
I think I'm 5 feet off the ground if my math is right.
Okay. So you kind of like drop down spider style.
Just hugging that wall and
Okay.
Spider-Manning over there.
As he still turns in your direction though, looking at the both of you. He seems to be focused more on you two than he is Silas at this moment. Speaking of Silas, you're up.
Perfect.
Rage, and
Okay.
then Sween, Reckless.
Go for it. Okay, hold on a second. For the first attack, I'm going to use my reaction. Blood Curse. So he'll grant you disadvantage for the attack. And the 17 will not hit. Or you're not blessed. The 15 will not hit. The second attack will hit.
Sorry, I need to take off bless. My bad.
No worries. The second attack will hit. So he'll take 8 damage from that strike. But you said you were raging. That doesn't appear to be included in your metric, so I'll go ahead and add that damage as well. Okay, so the first attack, you watch as he kind of like is looking at them. As your blade kind of, you and rush forward like that. He kind of twists his blade and blocks it, and you can feel this kind of just dampening of strength in the first blow, like as you were throwing it, as his eye kind of glares at you sidelong. And then as you bring the second strike in, it's kind of a rush. It cuts him on the shoulder, and he kind of reflexively kind of moves into that same kind of martial stature he started with you in. Like he's ignoring the people behind him.
Did anyone say out loud what he is?
No.
I don't know what he is.
You have no
Okay.
idea.
A
Fine.
guy with long arms.
Okay, cool.
Does he have long arms, or is it just them?
They all,
Is he a Dennis Hoffman?
everyone's
Okay.
Dennis Hoppin here.
Huh.
Rolling Rock.
All right. I'm a dwarf. I can go 25 feet.
Oh yeah.
So I will hop to this middle little rock here. And then I'm gonna raise my totem, and I'm gonna summon the ancestor spirits. I'll do a little spirit guardians action.
That's a 15-foot radius, right? For me.
15-foot radius from me.
All right.
Yeah. So on their turn,
They have to make a
the
save.
boys will get them. My spirit guardians are a female dwarf with a long braid and a winged helm and a spear and a shield. A dwarf with kind of an ethereal emberish glow on his beard and a robe with a staff. And a very simple-looking dwarf. He actually looks pretty similar to Rolling Rock. He wears workers' clothes and he has a mining pick.
Awesome. Is it an oversized, comically oversized mining pick?
Of course.
Okay, great. It was more for the Brents of the party. Nix, you are up.
Yep. So I'm going to move up 5, 10, 15, 20. And I can see that Silas is engaging with this blood hunter guy.
Yep.
And I know that it's this kind of creature because we've encountered them before.
So you would see him having a green flame blade. You can make an Arcana check to try and decipher whether or not you understand what he is.
Yeah, I don't want to use my action to do that.
I'll let you do it for free since I gave Bodhi a free one.
15.
You are not 100% certain as to what this guy is. You know that the green flame blade means he could be some sort of arcanist. You haven't seen him use any of his anti-magic charms yet.
Cool. So let's just do the thing then.
Anti-magic curses, more specifically.
15 to hit.
Yeah, as the beam comes closing towards him and you think it's going to cut, you see him kind of just deftly spin the blade. And as he does so, the force projectile that's launched from the sharp node, like the spectral blade, if you will, is cut in half and kind of warps past him.
Made him use his reaction.
No.
Okay, I'm going to take...
No, I was just describing him defending against it.
Oh. Okay, I'm going... Oh, because it didn't hit him. I got it.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15. So I'm just going to scooch around the corner.
I just wanted a cool defense action.
Yeah, no worries. That's good.
All right, it goes to him. He kind of sees the situation, understands he's kind of in a bit of peril here. At least that is what Bodhi and Uther both recognize from his perception here. He will, focusing on Silas, you can see that in his eyes there's almost like a matched kind of rage in his glower. And he's going to make 2 attacks against you.
Can I see him from where I'm at? Or is he like, did he block? No,
He's-
okay. I
yeah,
just need to
he's-
make sure it was working. Anything?
Out inside that little corner. You do not have your maximum hit points, so he has advantage on his attack rolls against you, Silas.
He already does, buddy.
Oh,
Right before they attack.
Oh, right. He has so much advantage on
You think Silas gives a shit?
And yeah, you are raging, so you'll take half damage on these 2 attacks, but one of them was a crit. So the first attack, after having, will be 5 slashing and 3 fire, or yeah, 5 and 3. That's after having, so 8. And then the second attack after having will be 13 slashing. That's after having, and after having for fire will be 5. Because 11, half of 11.
That'll put me down.
Okay. So as he kind of rushes into you, like there's just a quick pop of the first attack, which is the crit, and then the second attack kind of like just quickly cuts across the snout of Silas, and you can see his eyes kind of roll into his head as the lizard folk falls to the ground. As he kind of does this, he spins the blade down to the ground, looking at Uther and Bodhi, and then he just vanishes. This is a bit different from perspective-wise for our friend Nix. You see him appear 30 feet away from where he was standing on the pool of water, kind of looking around up above him, and then he kind of like narrows his eyes over at you as he sees that you see him.
Wait, he's standing on the water?
He is not sinking. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bodhi, it's your initiative. You see the man disappear.
Or all your archers are just...
Oh, shit. Yeah, I got to do shooting.
I also
he
gotta
see
make
me?
saves.
No, you can't see him either. The rocks are... He should be...
No, when he was over here,
Oh, yeah.
could he He doesn't use dark vision?
He's not using dark vision.
Okay.
So Uther is not next. It's the hunters. I'm shooting people with hunters. So the one engaged with you, kind of just takes the disengage action and will kind of move into these rocks.
I hit him anyway. With
Um,
Sentinel.
yeah, you sure do.
I do not actually. I got a 9.
Okay.
Hell of a try.
1,
As
2,
I-
3.
Sentinel's supposed to be making a comeback, man.
Oh, sorry. Saving throws for the Spirit Guardians. And go ahead and give me damage for Spirit Guardians. That'll kill this one.
All right.
And the other one will... also die.
Yeah, get them, lads.
That's not in. That's not in. So this one's not. Or these 3 are going to shoot at Ezekiel, and this one is going to shoot at Rolling Rock.
Your 3d8 beat the hell out of your 3d12.
I know.
All right.
They do
Sorry,
go like that.
Try to split the earth. Sometimes he's calling the
Grandpa and grandma and
Okay. So
great uncle, whoever.
you managed to defend Rolling Rock, but on the opposite side of that, Ezekiel, you do not. Looks like a lot of them are hitting you, and that will be 8 plus 7 plus 9. So 16 plus 8 is 24. And then now it goes to Bodhi.
I saw Silas go down from the.
Hold on, so 24 damage for Ezekiel.
I'm down. Yeah.
Okay. Does your Giants thing go away after you lose concentration, or just last a duration?
As a bonus action, you get the following benefits, which lasts for 1 minute. It doesn't say anything about going down.
Okay,
Whatever
so
I
then
roll.
you just roll a d100. And sorry, we're
Big unconscious dog.
going a little over. We did start a little late. I'm sorry. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
No one's freaking out.
Sentinel.
Okay, cool. I think we'll be done in this next round though. So 71, you will fall into the water. Flash.
Shit.
Cool. So Bodhi, you're up. You do see kind of like the starlight shadow blocker of Ezekiel kind of fly
Yeah.
to the side, and you can see him as he's falling, kind of bloodied.
Stupid split up party. I wouldn't be able to see him from up here, would I? The dog
He's big enough. Yeah, I'd say so.
puts me in a spot. I might be able to take cover. I'm gonna try to climb up to here.
Okay.
Would that be doable?
Yeah. So that'll be 15, 20, 25 feet of movement to get
25?
to that position. Yeah.
Okay, if I could see both of them, I'm going to. Shit.
Make a perception roll for me.
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't see
you are not aware of the Blood Hunter.
Okay. I've like lost the connection
Yeah.
or the
Well, he
arcana feel.
Yeah, he disappeared, and you don't know where he went to, and now
That's
you're more
right.
focused on Dog.
Damn it! I don't think I can twin and distance spell, can I?
I think you can only meta magic one per. Yeah.
It's like one or two that like are allowed to do it with another one, but
I
it's
think it
not
says
either of those
specifically.
two.
Yeah.
Shit! I need them both on their feet. I'm just gonna twin healing word
Okay.
as 3rd level.
All right. Yeah. So Silas and Ezekiel both will get up.
Let's say Silas first. 10. And Ezekiel 10.
Ezekiel, you are up now, actually conscious, and you are prone. The water's not.
Tell you what, that was a bonus section. No, that was bless. I'm an idiot. That was a bonus. God damn it. That was a bonus. Do I see any of the archers out
Yeah.
there?
You can throw a spell if you want.
I'll throw a Eldritch Blast at this one down here.
Cool. Take the shots. Miss. And what level are you?
15.
Yeah. Okay, that'll hit. And that's
4.
enough to kill her.
Yay.
All right. So Ezekiel, like I said, you're up, prone, but the water's not deep enough
stand up.
to hinder you.
I'm at 15 feet.
Okay. Moving through the water is difficult terrain.
Gotcha. What about moving back up here? Would I be able to get up to
Difficult
there?
terrain, so you can get up to there, sure.
Alright.
Oh yeah. Because you had
About
to
right
you
there.
had to stand up. No, yeah. Sorry.
I got up here.
Okay, and no attacks.
Throw something.
Do you want to dodge defensive?
Yeah, that's probably best.
Okay, you three, you're up. You can make a free perception check since he kind of went down line. You might have been able to see where he went off to.
Not worried about him
Okay.
right now. I'm gonna run down the slope over here. Can I spend my action to take the arrows off of this person's back and put them in my quill?
So they have a quiver. That
Quiver's
is
the word I meant.
yeah. Okay. If you're using your action to pull them, absolutely. If you just want to pull a couple, that's incidental. But if you want to use your action, you can pull all of the arrows.
Nah, yeah, I want all that they have.
You want all of it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get anything
Okay.
good out of this turn.
32 arrows on that person.
Cool.
Dick. Remember to search the rest of them.
You know, in hindsight, I'm kind of sad that you had like no arrows, and I just random encounter rolled you into a lot of arrows.
So many arrows. Yeah, no, I'm reloading for sure on this.
Yeah,
Feast or famine.
that's it. That is it. Okay, you third good turn. Silas, you're up. Free perception check as you are knocked unconscious. Wake up, and the guy's not there.
Oops.
No worries.
I was doing it like crazy.
Wrong button.
Chody, I need a perception check from you as you're brought back to consciousness to see if you know where he went. You
5.
You do not know. The only person who currently knows where the Blood Hunter is, and Nyx, he's right over there. He's right over there. Is not enough because you're on the opposite side of the rock. They can't see where you're pointing.
I understand.
Okay,
We believe in you, Nyx.
but Silas, you are not aware of where he's at.
Got it.
He looked wounded enough. I think those two handled it. He's probably full retreat right now.
All right, I'm standing up and I'm
Mhm.
just I'm starry-eyed, man. I don't know. I'm not.
Dodge.
I'm looking around. Dodge. Yeah.
Okay. As you're kind of like looking around, you do see shadows kind of to the north. You're not sure if it's him or not. To explain, you are looking directly at him in character, but what you're seeing is kind of this distortion of shadow. You are not seeing him. So,
I see him.
more specifically, out of character, you are looking directly where he is at. In character, you don't see him. There's just a strange weirdness of the shadows in this space.
Okay, then yeah, I'm all like
Yeah, defensive.
defensive.
Yeah. He has a passive trait that makes him hidden so long as he's teleported. Silas done. Rolling Rock, you are up. There's just the one there. Do you want to jump over there and totem smash?
She's gonna. Well, I hope so.
Roll it. Yeah.
27.
Hell yeah.
You hit her
Is
hard
that
enough,
enough?
she
Yeah,
just kind of
yeah.
like smashes into the stone, rocking all the way down the split earth into the cavity that you fissured. Anything else from you?
Can I get these guys into the Thunderdome?
Yeah, absolutely. You could probably move over one because again, it's kind of broken up in the middle, so it's not a straight drop. You can kind of teeter in between.
Meet the family.
So Nyx, you are the last person to kind of have a lock on him. You see him, and you can also kind of see the whatever magic he has that has formed around him. His sword has gone silent, and he's looking at you as he's kind of looked up and around him, gauging his area, and then he kind of locked eyes with you. How would you like to proceed?
I would like to scramble over the rocks here. I think I could 5, 10, 15, 20, right? I can make it. And I'm going to pump some healing into my buddy Silas. So we're going to cure items at 3rd
And
level.
probably panic pointing in that direction as well.
And so after I heal him, I'm going to point and say, he's right there. He's right there. And I point at him.
Okay. And as you're kind of looking over in that direction, Silas, you do see the distortion. So it's a bit more clear to you. But that said, you see him kind of appear slightly and his sword kind of rush up. Green fire juts up from it and goes skyward. And then as he does that, he takes the sword and spins it in front of him. And as he does so, the parts that the sword clears of its body disappear until the sword is the only thing that remains, and then the sword vanishes. The second that the green bolt goes up in the air, you see the hunters that you are smashing with the spirit guardians kind of panicked. One of them gets destroyed by it, and one of them saves. I need you to roll damage to see if it's enough to kill her or not. Steve? Yep, okay, yeah, nope, that'll be enough. The one that is too far away, the one kind of backline, she takes the dash action, and then as her action, she'll take the dash action. So she books it quite fast out of the area and kind of into the rocks, just disappearing into the night. The lights over by the boats, you see them moving a bit, but you aren't sure like if you can get to them in time. They're a good 500 or so feet away.
How far did she dash?
She ran into the darkness, so like it's just sightline thing, because no one can see into the dark, right? Nobody has like 1,000 feet.
Not that far.
Yeah, she's just. How far she got is undetermined.
Got it.
But yeah, I'm assuming, but again, I'm just assuming that everyone is going to kind of like collect in the last turns. No one's going to dart off after the shadow lady, right? The lady who ran into the shadows? Okay, cool. Then I will leave it there. I'll remove all turns. And thanks for watching those that did. We'll do the aftermath kind of in the Discord and off to the side. And we'll be picking up next session in the aftermath of the rest random encounter. Thanks for watching.